Complete Football Today is the program you're watching. My name is Sune Kweki, your regular anchor. With me are my regular analyst, Kozim Elebode. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure being here.
And Kyle Dogunari, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
On this program, we talk the major issues, and it doesn't come any bigger in Nigeria now than the
code of conduct documents that the Nigerian Football Association and the National Sports Commission are trying to implement. Gentlemen, they tried this thing at least 3 times to the best of my knowledge, and they failed. In the 1990s, in 2008 and 2010, they failed all those 3 times. What makes it possible for them to succeed this time?
Well, the reason why they failed the previous attempts is not far-fetched. I mean, if you set unrealistic targets for people, you are bound to fail. Okay, it's not code of conduct. It's not something that somebody will just sit at the comfort of his office and you begin to rule out rules arbitrarily. If you do that, then you are bound to fail. And I think that is what we've had in the past. Besides, we've been paying lip service to code of conduct. When it's a code of conduct, I want to believe it has to do with the general ethics of a team.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of people are involved. Not just somebody writing it.
Not just the players.
The players, the coaches,
the coaching staff, the backroom staff.
Everybody will be involved. That is when you have a workable code of conduct. If you don't have a workable code of conduct, it's not going to work. And that is what we have had in the last 3 attempts that you mentioned.
Okay, Kadi, let me ask you. Ordinarily, you think that these players are adults, that they don't need
handwritten rules and regulations to guide how they are supposed to act when they're in Nigeria. But these same players have a history of acting in less than agreeable manners. In the 2004 Tunisia 94 the Tunisia Nations Cup in 2004, 3 players were sent home for flouting camp rules. The Nations Cup in Angola, I know a journalist who personally swore to me that one of the players was camping guests in one of the rooms in the hotel. Then when players were playing, after the matches, he would go and visit those guests. Then the next day during training and during matches, you just wondering why he can't run. So is this necessary for these kind of players?
I think if you've been around the players, like you said, you know that there's a need for a code of conduct. But the question I ask is, if there's going to be a code of conduct for the players, there should be one for the officials.
Okay.
But if the officials are not better in their own conduct than the players, who monitors the monitors?
Who polices the police?
Who polices the police? You understand? There are things that there are very unspeakable things that the officials also do.
Okay.
So when the players see officials do these things, like you said now, let me allude to what you said now. We've had instances where officials actually serve as ferry to bring in so-called guests that you're talking about for these players. So there's a need to have a monitor who will monitor those who want to monitor the players.
So there must be a code of conduct for everybody. But you know, the reason why this code of conduct is coming into play is because of something that happened early this year.
In Namibia, after the World Cup qualifier against the Namibian national team, where our national team refused to get onto the airplane to take them to the Confederations Cup, they subsequently arrived late. Unless their match bonuses of was it $15,000 or $10,000 was paid, and the Nigerian sports authorities thought that was a particularly disgraceful episode, and they want players to conform to certain standards of the national team. Surely, if you pay players or anyone to come and work on your behalf, you should be able to guide how they work.
You see, the code of conduct shouldn't be all about money. In fact, money for me is a list.
Money.
The issue you're talking about, that is the bonuses. Yes, it has to do with money.
Okay. Yeah.
If that is what is motivating the reincarnation of this code of conduct, then it is bound to fail. Which means after the World Cup, we'll forget about it. When we qualify for another major tournament, we'll now start talking again about code of conduct.
So what they plan to do is that this document will cover the actions of all the officials who are ever called up to the Super Eagles.
I pray so.
From now on and into the
I pray so, because honestly, we have one of the most indisciplined teams in the world. Yes, I've been with the Super Eagles for more than a decade. I went to 3 Nations Cups and I know what I saw. Mubon camp, they did worse. And that community what happened in 2004. It was a very bad episode, unsettling episode. And, it's just that we had somebody who felt he needed to stamp his authority.
Yeah.
I mean, Mali 2002, we didn't fare better. I saw ladies at the hotel rooms of players, and the following day, I was surprised that somebody who was our top scorer then couldn't score when he faced goalkeeper face to face. Okay, so this happens, but the code of conduct shouldn't be all about this alone. Because it's a big document we're talking about, and it has to address everything, and it has to be enduring. It shouldn't just be tailored towards Brazil 2014. Yeah. Okay, it should be enduring so that if we need to improve over it in future, we will. But it should be a document that will be there. I mean, guiding the team all through. Okay. And as time goes on, you will find things that you need to change there over time. Not that you just do it for Brazil 2014, and after Brazil 2014 is gone, then when you have another major tournament, you sit down again, you concoct a code of conduct.
You know, karma is a funny thing. The first time this code of conduct was introduced, the likes of Stephen Keshi, Daniel Mokachi, Samson Siasa, and the rest, they were the players who kicked against since then. Now they are coaches. What position do you expect them to take on this issue?
Well, we won't be able to speak for those guys. Well, let me say this quickly, that code of conduct for teams is not a new thing. England has one. Okay.
Every team, every solid team.
It's not something that you bring on and off. It should be there, like the Bible standard.
Yes.
For every, it should guide teams across board. So you know what is expected of you. You conform, and when you don't conform, it's not as if you now decide that today I stepped out of line. 3 people now sit down. What do we do to today? No. What the parliament are already spelled out in the code of conduct. So even without anybody sitting down, so they knows the
implication of everything has done.
So you don't need anybody to now come and so that you will not accuse me or Kazim of victimization. Okay. What you've done is written down that if you do this is the punishment.
Okay.
Finally, gentlemen, let's talk about another interesting issue. The coach of the Italian national team, Cesare Prandelli, has advocated that there should be water breaks introduced at the World Cup because of the humidity and the
temperate conditions in which these players will be playing. And for me, if you're asking for water breaks in Brazil,
you'll be asking for ice breaks
in Qatar. You see again, it tells you people who are working. It tells, because football, like any sport, has gone scientific.
Yes.
Okay. So if people are thinking, they are looking beyond 22 players running on the pitch. They are looking at implications. We're looking at weather conditions. They are looking at logistics,
optimization of their performances.
So that get the best out of these players. And that is why I marvel at people who say we should just set a semi-final target for the Eagles. we are right, yes, it will happen. But if it happens, it will be an aberration. Just like what happened in 2002 when Turkey and South Korea got to the semi-final. Where are they today?
That was an aberration. We know the reasons why that happened.
Reality, when you talk of those who plan, Cesare Prandelli has just shown you people who plan. Okay, I totally support what he has said. I totally support it. Football is physically demanding, and when you play in a humid area, it's going to tell on your body.
My problem with this, Kyle, is that there are already too many breaks in football already. The ball goes out of throwing, injuries, time wasted doing arranging the walls for free kicks and fouls. Do we still...
During those times, you don't drink water.
No, even then.
You don't drink water. Hardly you drink water.
Hold on. When the players injured on the field, you see the team coming with bottles for the players and they distribute. There are still water breaks then. Do we need a defined water break?
Honestly, if you ask me, we don't.
Well,
we don't. And I'm going to tell you why. As it stands now, there's nowhere that it says in FIFA rules that you cannot take a break.
Okay.
The whole team cannot take a break.
No, you don't need the whole team to take a break.
But when you have a water break, the whole team takes a break.
Let me tell you something. The danger here is if everybody should take a water break at the same time, there's a danger of the body actually slowing down.
Okay.
And you need something to kickstart you again. So, and that's the danger.
I disagree because if you have to go by that analysis, it means when you have a stoppage due to injury or even free kick or whatever, it means the body goes down. And then I want to cite an example of basketball where you have timeouts.
Yes.
When they return, do you see any change it. It's fire for fire once it gets to the final quarter.
Someone might argue that football is different from basketball.
It's not different. It's sports. It's physically demanding.
Actually, basketball is actually more physically demanding.
Yeah, than football. So if it happens in basketball,
I think we should leave things as they are.
And again, look, the water break king. I don't know, Sheikh Prandini and other intelligent coaches. It will be a viral opportunity for them to talk to the team, to rejig their tactics. So it might go beyond just the players' demand alone. Okay, for me, it's good because left to me, I would prefer more than 3 substitutes in a match. To be honest with you, I think we have gone beyond that. I mean, when football started, there were no substitutes. Today we have 3.
Then followed by having 1.
Yes.
Then just
2. Then 2 plus goalkeeper. That was 2 plus goalkeeper. Now it's 3. For me, they should have more than 3 because I mean, football is highly demanding, and it's not everybody that could play 90 minutes, no matter how good you are.
So, cousin, water breaks.
I support water breaks wholeheartedly.
Kayode, no water breaks.
Well, we've heard our 2 panelists, analysts discussing the water break issue. Let us know what you think. Please send in your comments, type it below. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Should water breaks be introduced in a 90-minute game of football? We don't need it at all. This has been Complete Football Today. I'm your regular anchor, Tunde Koiki. Many thanks to my analyst, Kazim Elebode. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
And Kayode Budari, always a pleasure having you on the show. Join us for the next episode of the program.